Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another Sunday night episode of our live stream show. That's right, it's Sunday night, y'all, and we are ready for the live stream show. Hopefully you are too. Hopefully you got your venting tools standing by and you're ready to talk inshore, nearshore, and offshore fishing, and a little bit of inshore too. And let's get right into things. Larry White, appreciate those 100 stars, buddy. Thank you so much. Getting us kicked off right. Thank you, Larry. And shout out to the Lightning. Go Bolts. We are moving on to the second round. Seventh game win. That was pretty clutch. Hopefully you are catching some of the Lightning action. It's definitely pretty fun. I'm not really big into hockey, but I do like it. It is fun to watch. It's very fast moving. Adam Franklin, appreciate those 500 stars, buddy. Thank you so much. This is our Sunday night live stream show. We're going to be talking fishing, giving away free fishing trips, and answering your questions live. We do this every Sunday night right here at 8:30 p.m. for about an hour. And we're going to be talking about what's going on, what's coming up, showing you the weather, showing you photos of what we've been catching. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you enjoy the show. And we'll see you next week and every week for that live stream show. Tim Dykes, appreciate those 300 stars. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle. Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. They are responsible for bringing you this live show. This live show is brought to you by the good people at Gator Jim's Tackle. If you haven't made it over there to Gator Jim's, definitely you are missing out. They have a huge selection, really cool shop. They got it all, killer deals. You will miss out. You want to do yourself a favor, stop by Gator Jim's. And if you bring a young angler with you, make sure to tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you, and your young angler will get a free gift. Leo Smith, appreciate those 200 stars. Jessica Hinkle, thank you so much. If you're not watching on Facebook, the stars are just a way for people watching on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream to show their support. Really appreciate y'all sending stars. It makes the show possible, along with our good friends over at Gator Jim's. Also, don't forget to comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Don't forget to give the video a like or a thumbs up for us. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you share the video with your favorite fishing club, on your timeline, with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Trovo, Twitch, make sure you follow our page. Instagram, double tap that video. Make sure you're following our page too. And if you're watching on Instagram, remember you can go over to your phone's browser, find Instagram.com, and then you'll be able to watch in full screen. When you turn your phone sideways, it'll show you the full screen. If you're watching on the Instagram app, it's only going to show you the very middle of the screen, just so you know. Cody Mosley, appreciate those 200 stars. Thanks, buddy. Now, we are going to give away over $800 in free fishing trips tonight. If you want a chance to win some of those free trips, you do have to comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. So make sure you comment one time on the Facebook stream. That is the Hubbard's Facebook stream. So you got to go over to facebook.com, find the Hubbard's Marina page, and then comment one time. So you can comment anything you want, but you do have to comment at least once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page. So make sure you find that, comment once to make sure you're eligible for a chance to win a free fishing trip. You can watch on YouTube, you can watch on Instagram, Trovo, Twitch, but in order to be eligible to win, you do have to comment once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. Now, we are going to be answering questions later on during the show. If you want a chance for your question to be answered live, you have to text us at that phone number there. And if you're picked as one of those lucky winners of the free trips we give away, make sure, again, you save this phone number, because you have to text us your full home address within 5 minutes to prove that you're watching live. So make sure to save the phone number, send in your questions and comments there, and make sure if you picked as a lucky winner, have it queued up, because you've got 5 minutes or less to claim that free trip if you're picked. Now, with that, we're going to move right into the inshore photos and show you what we've been catching inshore. Then we'll work our way nearshore and then offshore. Richard Slusher, appreciate those 500 stars. Thanks so much, buddy. Jeff Reedy, thank you for the 200 stars. Thanks, guys. So making our way inshore, here is a nice pompano from our good buddy Dan the Fishman. He caught this one locally, took it home, filleted it up, and cooked it. He's got a cool video on his YouTube channel. Check it out, Dan the Fishman on YouTube. He's trying to grow his page. Local fisherman, pretty cool dude, so definitely check it out. Scott Flynn, 100 stars. Thank you, buddy. Pompano are biting really well out there around the beaches, passes, and bridges approaching those areas. Sandier edges, working the bottom, definitely going to be the best place to find those pompano. Little pompano jig, live shrimp are good ways to target the pompano. Redfish action's been real good around the flats, following those schools of mullet still. Dead bait on the bottom is a good way to target them with kind of a soft plastic, working the edges of those mullet schools if you can find them, or tossing that chunk of dead bait up underneath the edge of the mangroves at a higher tide is another good way to target those redfish. But the soft plastics working across those edges, potholes, flat area is a good option to find them. Gary Camridge, appreciate those stars. Thank you. Some more solid redfish. Also, the sharks. Holy moly, the sharks have been super thick. Got a lot of bait on the beaches right now, and the sharks are getting thicker and thicker for sure. These both were caught inside John's Pass. They had caught 10 of them one night like this. So they are thick. The shark action is going well. Lots of sheep's head still around. Despite the warming water, we still got quite a few sheep's head around our docks and around John's Pass, and the bite is still pretty good. We're starting to see smaller sheep's head now, and definitely a bigger influx of mangrove snappers. So those bridges, jetties, piers, docks, seawalls, we're still seeing the sheep's head, but more and more mangroves are starting to flood their way in for sure. Snook action is going well. We're starting to see more and more snook moving into John's Pass and around the area. Bridge lights, dock lights starting to stack up with these snook, and it's an exciting time of year as they get thicker along the beaches and in the passes. They're still kind of making their way here, not super thick yet, but on select tides they do stack up. Some solid fish on those kind of entry points, those transitional points on their way to the passes. Definitely moved out of the back bay areas, those bayous, rivers, creeks, back canals have kind of cleared out of snook, and they're kind of staging more at those points and along those flats as they make their way out of the bay or back bay to more of the passes, beaches area. But we're still seeing plenty of snook around the flats, just more of these kind of schoolie-sized fish as a lot of the bigger fish start to move out towards the passes and beaches. Here's another shot of our friends from out of town. They've been in town fishing hard as a family from the jetty, using live shrimp and catching lots of speckled trout and sheep's head from the jetty. Pretty cool. Mike Hart, appreciate those 100 stars. Here's our good buddy John Sasser targeting those snook, but catching some big gator trout in the process. Definitely some good trout action around the pass and around our local grass flats. And that's about it inshore. Definitely been good fishing, as you can see. And this week we should have some really good fishing. Backside of a full moon, beautiful weather. Low pressure is going to be approaching the area. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but good fishing, great weather this week. Don't hold back. If you want to get out there on the water, this is the time to do it before the weather starts turning bad on us. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in just a minute. Let's work our way near shore and offshore, show you what we're catching out there. Definitely been some solid hogfish caught, but not super crazy thick. We are not seeing a lot of hogfish. But we're catching a few here and there. One here, two there, three there. Typical half days, 1, 2, 3, 4 hogfish. Sometimes no hogfish, whereas the all days, same thing. Maybe 0, maybe 5. You just never know. But we're not catching huge numbers of them like we do in those cooler months. October-ish through April-ish, we catch the most hogfish. This time of year, we're seeing more of the lane snapper, mangrove snapper, vermilion snapper. You have a better chance at those red grouper on our 10-hour all days, and then the half days, just those gray snapper, porgies, a few sea bass, maybe a hogfish, and lots of those mackerel right now. Big red grouper, though, are cooperating offshore for us real well. Seeing a lot of these red grouper offshore and doing real well on the Flying Hub 2 on our 39 hours, 44 hours. Great opportunity to get out there for those red grouper. Red snapper season is around the corner. Just about 15 days away, we'll be in our red snapper season. It starts June 1st, runs through the end of day, August 18th. We got 79 days to target these suckers and thin them out, get rid of them, and get to our gag grouper fishing that really is picked up October, November, December, but we get some really big gags during June, July, and early August when we're out there targeting the red snapper. So looking forward to that. D. Beers, appreciate those 500 stars. Thank you so much, D. Christine, good seeing you today, and thank you for those 200 stars. Appreciate it. Here's Captain Richie with a solid red grouper on the jig. He was out there, I think this was yesterday or the day before. They were on a private charter with like 4 people. He said he dropped that jig 6 times and reeled up 6 keeper red grouper. Just back to back to back. They were slurping the jig. So it is a great time of year right now. Definitely beautiful with transitioning weather. We're kind of getting out of that cooler period into that warmer period, and we're getting a lot of crossover of some good action near shore and offshore. So great time to get out there on the water before the stupidity of red snapper when everybody and their brother comes out of their woodwork and trips get full. For example, this week we have a Tuesday overnighter with 27 people on it. Friday's overnighter has 26 people on it. So light loads this week, next week, and then, like I said, June 1st, it just gets stupid, and everybody and their brother wants to catch these red snapper when we've got plenty of fish to catch right now and much more room on the boat. So definitely a good time to get out there before the chaos begins. Some solid gag grouper have been caught and released, but the red grouper just won't quit, and we're seeing nice scamp. These are nearshore red grouper from a Hub private fishing charter. The gentleman in the blue there was getting out. It was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer, and he wants to go fishing a lot. So pretty cool dude, and wanted to get his big fish photo featured. So really appreciate you coming fishing with us. Nice solid red grouper on the jig again with Captain Richie. They are working well for sure. And solid triggerfish. Look at that guy. Nice one. We only got a few days left on triggerfish. Amberjack and triggerfish are open right now, and they both close at the end of May. So all of those red snapper crazed individuals who only fish in June and July got no shot at triggerfish or amberjack. Some more of those hogfish from the nearshore trips. Here's a big old mangrove from the 44-hour trip. They also caught a nice mutton. They got solid scamp grouper, some really nice scamp grouper, some big fat red grouper, a couple throwback red snapper and gags. And here's a nice red grouper pair from the 10-hour all day. I think it was Thursday's 10-hour all day got 9 keeper red grouper, which was pretty cool. And look at this horse of a lane snapper. Absolutely insane, the size of the lane snapper we've been seeing lately. Here's a nice hogfish from that 10-hour. This is Fritz, our good buddy Fritz. He caught 2 keeper hogfish. There was 2 keeper hogfish caught. Like I said, not catching a lot of them, not seeing a lot of them, But this gentleman caught both of them. Fritz is a really good fisherman. He fishes a lot, and this trip really proved he knows what he's doing. 2 keeper hogfish, and no one else on the boat got even an undersized hogfish. It was the Fritz show when it comes to the hogfish show. It's pretty cool. He's a nice guy for sure. Now, one cool thing from that 44-hour trip that I wanted to share with you guys is if you listen to our radio show Saturday, the Real Animals radio show, we were talking about mangrove snapper and catching big mangrove snapper, and how Mike was saying a 10-pound mangrove's like so big, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even know they got that big. The 44-hour trip, the 3rd place jackpot fish was 9.5-pound mangrove. First and second place mangrove snappers were both over 10 pounds. The the winner of the jackpot mangrove was 10.9 pounds. Solid mangrove snapper, over 10.5 pounds. Really, really big fish. So pretty cool to see such big mangrove snappers. And if we didn't get distracted halfway through the night, or really right as the night began on our 44-hour trip, I think we would have had even more of those big mangrove snapper. But we had a little bit of a challenging 44-hour trip. Unfortunately, had a guest who was feeling ill and had heart attack-like symptoms. We contacted the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard sent a helicopter, which we had to turn around and go meet. So we started fishing on the 44-hour, got a fishing spot or 2 in, then had to come pull anchor and head back home to meet the helicopter. Helicopter got the individual off the boat, got him to Tampa General, got him in medical care, and luckily he's doing well. Everything is looking good there. So shout out to the Coast Guard for keeping us safe, and we were able to turn around, get back out there, and start fishing, and put a hurting on the fish on this 44-hour. It was incredible, the amount of fish they caught, even despite some of those distractions from the fishing. But kept everybody safe, boat was safe, people were safe, and even the passenger who was airlifted was safe. So best of a bad situation, and turned around and were blessed with a crazy bite of good fish. So all in all things worked out. Brian Eakins, appreciate those 50 stars, buddy. We're going to talk about the weather real quick and show you what we've been talking about. If you follow the Captain Dylan Hubbard Facebook page, I kind of use that one for random stuff. The Hubbard's Marina page, we put so much effort and really just advertising dollars behind. I don't really mess with the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page, but the Captain Dylan Hubbard Facebook page, I mess with more. I kind of have a little bit more fun with that, whereas the supporters group is just all fun with a lot of behind-the-scenes info. But the Captain Dylan Hubbard Facebook page is free to follow, and we've been talking about this for more than a week now. So we're going to talk about it on the live show because trends have held true, and what we've been looking at and hinting at for the last week is looking like it's going to come true. So let's talk a little bit about that. As far as weather right now goes, again, we're going to go to the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page. Did we already do the trip giveaway? Nope. Oh, man, I got distracted. Oh, I hit the wrong button. So we're going to give away our first free trip of the night. Then we're going to get into the weather. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm excited about giving away free stuff and the weather and answering your questions. So let's see who won our first free trip of the night. We're going to give away a 10-hour all day for 2 guests. 10-hour all day for 2 guests. Let's see who won. Estelle Wolfman won a 10-hour all day for 2 guests from Brandon, Florida. Congratulations, Estelle, on that lucky win. You've got 35 seconds to claim that free Estelle fishes with us quite a bit, so I got to give her a hard time. But seriously, 35 seconds. All right, moving on. Let's talk weather. Show you guys what we've been seeing weather-wise and what we've been joking about on the Captain Dylan Hubbard page that is held true. So if you go to our website page and click fishing trips, scroll down to weather links, then click weather links and scroll to the wind finder forecast. We're going to look at this first and show you guys, look at all this beautiful weather here through this week. Gets a little breezy Friday as the wind shifts out of the south and starts puffing a little bit, but doesn't get too bad near shore. This is our inshore report, but doesn't get too bad. Gets worse there probably offshore, but long story, the highlight is the course of the next 5 days, Monday through Thursday, looks spectacular. So if you have the opportunity, get out of work and go fishing. Especially, I would say, Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I would say, would be the best possible days to be near shore and offshore fishing on the backside of a full moon as this weather kind of makes its way into the area. Then the weekend doesn't look terrible, especially the second half of the weekend looks good. But then, what's this? What's this over here, Tuesday, May 24th? Why is the wind picking up? Let's find out. So we're going to go back to our weather links page, and we're going to go over here to the bottom of the weather links page to my second favorite website behind hubbardsmarina.com, spaghettymodels.com, Mike's weather page. Right up here at the top in the middle, I'm going to click Tropical Tidbits. This is one of the links on his website, and go to Forecast Models. We're going to go to Global GFS and look at the new 12Z run. So check this out right here. Let's see what it looks like. It looked crazy the other day. Let's see if it still looks pretty crazy. Yep, it still looks crazy. Oh, that's not good. Oh, man. Josh, can you zoom in on that for the peoples? Oh, you can't make the map any bigger. No. That is a 962 millibar storm. Is that 962 or 982? I can't read it, Josh. Can you?
I see 1006.
No, bro.
982.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 982. All right. So back to the Mike's weather page website down here on the bottom left side. There it is. 982 would make it a Cat 1 potential. So potential for a Cat 1. But that is Tuesday, May 24th. That is way, way in the distance. And that's Tuesday, May 24th. It's basically right on top of us. And we saw over here on the wind finder forecast that Tuesday, May 24th, the wind's only blowing 35. So obviously the EC, I forget what weather model wind finder uses, but obviously that weather model does not agree with the GFS model that is shown here. So if you switch the different ensembles, it will give you different options. And basically, long story short, is it's really early and a lot can change. Really, the course of the next few days will tell the story. 3-4 days, they'll have a better idea, and probably by Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, you'll start seeing this on the news. But the Euro models have some potential of it going in the Gulf, some going into the Pacific. Other models don't have it developing at all, but all the trends show that something's going to happen. Will it go into the Pacific? Will it head north and stay in the Gulf of Mexico? And then if it does, where does it land? But it's early, way too early to know, but it's something to watch out for there the second or the last week in May. Good news is it won't affect the start of our red snapper season. It'll be out of the way by June 1st. It's just kind of the last week in May where it looks like we're going to get some pretty hefty rain and potentially a little tropical system. But everything I've seen has kept it Cat 1, tropical storm. Typically early in the year like this, early in hurricane season, they don't have a lot of chance to really build up. Typically, they're pretty disorganized. So nothing to worry about. But going to be a little bit of a rainmaker, and if it gets close to our area, potentially ruin some trips there at the end of May. So we're keeping our eyes on it, and we're following that along as development happens. But it's an exciting time of year if you're a weather nerd like me. All right, so let's move on here. The summary of what's going on with the weather right now is it's beautiful. Get out there and go fishing this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is my suggestion. And also on the weather front, there is a lunar eclipse happening tonight. You can start seeing it about 10:30. It'll start getting more full towards midnight. I think it's like 11:50. I think I had the times written somewhere, but I forget where they were. It's right here, actually. So it starts at 10:30. It's a full lunar eclipse by around 11:30 p.m., and it will completely end Monday at 2 a.m. So try to get out there and watch that lunar eclipse tonight. It'll be pretty darn cool for sure. So after the show, I know where I'll be. I want to go watch the lunar eclipse. It'll be fun. Now, with that, let's talk a little bit about some events we have coming up, and then we're going to get into your questions. If you do have a question you want answered live, make sure you text us at that phone number there. Some events we have coming up Sunday, May 22nd. That's this upcoming Sunday. We're going to be at Bass Pro Shops Tampa talking fishing and giving away free trips. So hopefully you can join us this coming Sunday, 2 p.m. at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops for that fishing conversation. Also this Saturday, I'll be at Osprey Bay Outdoors, 4 p.m. this Saturday, May 21st, for the Sheriff Michael Magley Memorial Kayak Tournament. That was the sheriff who was killed in the line of duty by a drunk driver and left behind a wife and 2 beautiful children. Unfortunately, a little more than a year and a half ago now, maybe almost 2 years. And this memorial tournament, and it is honoring his name, but it's going to the Police Benevolent Fund of Pinellas County. So pretty powerful tournament benefiting a great cause, and I'm honored to be emceeing that event. So Saturday, May 21st, 4 p.m., Osprey Bay Outdoors, going to have food and drinks available, and always a good time over there, and they do a great job putting that tournament together. We're going to be raffling off a lot of cool stuff, so you don't want to miss out. Stephen Batchelor, appreciate those 100 stars. So May 21st, 4 p.m., Osprey Bay Outdoors. May 22nd, 2 p.m., Bass Pro Shops. And then June 18th, we're working with Sergio Antonis from Tampa and putting together a kids event at Picnic Island at 9 a.m. That is Saturday, June 18th, after our radio show. And June 21st, we've got Bobby Lane as the special guest at the Real Animals Fishing Conversation at Bartow Ford. So lots of cool events coming up, and excited. So let's go ahead and talk about some of your questions. What questions do you have? What do you want to talk about tonight? What kind of boat are you on for your 5-hour trips? Party boats, head boats. We got 2 large party boats. The Florida Fisherman and Friendly Fisherman, both licensed for over 110. We only allow up to 65. What a lot of people don't realize, though, is we do have private fishing charters, too. We've got the Hub, the Flying Hub 2, and lots of options for private charters if you just want to take you and your own group out there. Next question, do you all ever catch eels while fishing? Yes, we encounter eels quite often, mostly on our longer range, deeper water trips, but we do catch eels even on our half-day trips occasionally, but definitely most common on those longer range, deep water trips. All right, let's see. What other questions do we have? Wanting to confirm what rentals you have for our boat trip. That's a Shell Key. We do offer Shell Island and Egmont Key tours, but that question is not intended for the live show, I don't think. We went out this past Friday night on the 12-hour trip. We had a blast. It was my 13-year-old Logan's first time out. He had such a good trip. Bobby Dennis and Captain Bobby, our first class, they worked their butt off. Give you guys 1,000 stars. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Eric Wetzel. Appreciate you and your family coming fishing with us. Glad to hear your son had a great first trip. That's awesome. Getting them started young and hooked on fishing. That's really cool. Great question there. Even though it wasn't texted in, you got to text in your questions because your comments disappear too quickly. But the question was, who really catch more, men or women? It's 100% women. It was actually talked about on our Sunday morning Real Animals radio show. Ladies always catch more fish, especially if you take a group of like beginning to intermediate anglers. The ladies are always going to catch more fish than the guys. And if it's luck, if it's the power of women, I don't know. In my experience, it has a lot to do with the fact that ladies don't have big egos and they're willing to listen. And that's one thing that I've learned, that you just got to shut up and listen sometimes. And then you know what they know and what you know. That's what my grandfather always said. Stop and listen, because you'll know what they know and what you know. And you have, what was the quote? You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Shut up and listen. That's what he'd always yell at my dad, and my dad thusly passed down to me. And it's true. You learn a lot by just sitting back and listening. You got to move in silence. That's the goal. And it works really well on boats, too. I mean, on party boats, on multi-passenger charter boats, even fishing with your buddies. Just sit back and listen. Don't go out there, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to catch all them fish. Go out there with a humble attitude and just listen. And a lot of times people will give you their whole game plan. This is how I do it. This is how I rig. This is how I hold my mouth while I'm holding the bait, you know, and people just really go all out and are willing and want to share their info and their knowledge. And if you stop and listen and watch and look, you often learn quite a bit. And that's what I find with lady anglers is they are not afraid to ask questions. They're not afraid to listen. They're not afraid to try new techniques, and they're very observant. They see someone catch a fish. What bait did he use? How did he have it rigged? What size hooks did he use? And they can pick all that information up and absorb it and really learn much more quickly and pick things up much more quickly. So is it ladies or is it just their personalities that make them great fishermen? But they are better fishermen, bar none. Easy question. Who catches more, men or women? It's always going to be women. For example, I took my wife on a 12-hour extreme. I think it was a while back now. She wanted to go fishing, and she enjoyed herself, sat back, relaxed, soaked in some sun, listened to music, took a nap, and ate some sandwiches. I finally talked her into fishing. We're like halfway through the trip at this point. She's like, which rod should I use? She picks up one of the rods I pointed out, baits it up, drops it down, catches the biggest grouper of the day by like 5 pounds, way bigger than anybody else's, puts the rod back and continues to nap the rest of the day in the sun, sunning herself. I was like, what the heck? Well, who invited her? She always outfishes me. So it's a good thing. I like it. But yeah, they always outfish you for sure. Whenever you bring your wife or your better half fishing, just know that's going to happen. But it's a good thing. That means they like it, they have fun, and hopefully they'll want to go fishing with you more. Then you get to go fishing more. It's a win-win-win. My wife actually told me yesterday that she wants to do another fishing trip. And I was like, with the kids? And she was like, no, just me and you. Yes. Finally getting to go fishing on a longer range trip. Because if we're not bringing the kids, we're going deep. Speaking of, Tuesday, we're going fishing with T.A. Mahoney Company out of Tampa to film another episode of Tales from the Dark Side, which is premiering and airs on Waypoint TV. So if you haven't downloaded the Waypoint TV app, make sure you do. Check out our friends over at Tales from the Dark Side. and we're going to be filming a show with them this Tuesday, and it should be up on Waypoint TV probably about 3 to 4 weeks later, but we'll definitely keep you abreast of when that airs because it's going to be a great time for sure. Mike Mahoney of TA Mahoney Company is a great guy. He's on our Real Animals Radio family, and he and Captain Dave Singletary, one of our captains that runs our longer range trips and charters, go back a long time. They're good old buddies. So Dave's running the boat. We've got Splash Gordon there, our fearless first mate. Him and Dave get along pretty well. It's kind of like a love-hate thing. So those two are going to be running the boat together, and I'm going fishing to torture them. And Mahoney and his group of what he affectionately calls weirdos are all joining us. And I am a little scared, but very excited to fish with these guys. It's going to be a crazy day. So looking forward to filming for sure. Is there a season on mutton snapper in the Gulf of Mexico? No, they're open all year. We don't see a lot of them in our area. They are just kind of randomly around, and we catch them sometimes. It's not a lot, but we do catch them from time to time. But there's no season on the mutton snapper. Do you ever give away free trips on the after show? Not really on the after show. We've given away free fishing trips. We did a 12-hour all-day trip for supporters. Then we did another supporters trip, I think. We did something else for supporters. And we gave them all free T-shirts. And you get access to the supporters after show. You get a lot of other... Did I hear someone in the parking lot? No. All right. Don't want someone messing with my truck, freaking me out. So we give away free shirts. We did the supporters trip last year. We'll probably do another supporters trip again. And we also do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff on the supporters page. Plus, you get access to the supporters after show. So cool way of connecting with us for sure. And it's only $4.99 a month. So killer deal. Get on, open another tab, Josh, and look up my friend here on Facebook, sorry. So someone asked about a octopus lure, and my buddy Nick Haddad, who runs the Return 'em Right program, Haddad, yeah, there he is. He runs the Return 'em Right program, and he is a federal government employee, but he knows how to fish. I'll give him that. And he caught this gag grouper. This is a true rusty belly gag grouper on what I would never, ever recommend. He got lucky. That's what it boils down to. He got super lucky. He caught this gag grouper on a spinning reel with a octopus jig. So pretty crazy. Let me see if I can find the jig for you guys. But it is a jig that I've seen at Bass Pro Shops. Oh, that son of a sailor. He didn't post the photo of the jig. But it's a jig that I've seen at Bass Pro Shops before. It's basically a soft plastic octopus with a lead in the face, the head of the octopus. And that's where you attach your line to. And it's got a big old hook coming out of the back of the head. And he was jigging with that spinning reel and hooked up to that rusty belly gag, and just got lucky that thing wasn't near its rock, or it would have schooled him. But he is a good fisherman and a very fishy dude, and yeah, beautiful fish, beautiful fish. So the question about the octopus lures, there's proof. They do work. They do catch big gag grouper, and baby octopus is a killer bait. For gag grouper, red snapper, mangrove snapper, everything likes those octopus, especially that time of year where we see a lot of octopus, which happens around this time, spring, fall, and through the summer. We see a lot more octopus, and they tend to be a better bait. Also squid, we're seeing a lot of squid, especially around full moon. We see a lot of squid, so the whole squid work really well offshore this time of year as well. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Will the weather be good for this coming weekend's 39-hour trip? Yes. It looks like the offshore weather doesn't get bad enough to make us cancel. Nearshore wasn't too bad, only about 2.5 foot, so it'll be nice nearshore this weekend, or not nice. It'll be a little bumpy, but not bad this weekend. Whereas offshore, it is definitely going to be a little bit more bumpy, but not bad enough to make us cancel a 39-hour, it seems. Plus, it's still very early. It's Sunday, so talking about what's going to happen Saturday, 6 days from now, is just an educated guess as far as the weather goes, because a lot can change between now and then. Can you explain the bait brining process? So one thing cool about us at Hubbard's Marina is we have a ton of important and helpful information right on our fishing or our website page. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com and you click on fishing trips, you can scroll down there to fishing video links and click fishing tips and tricks page, which Josh has already done for us. And if you scroll down here under the first one, Nearshore and Offshore tips, there's a how to brine your bait for offshore fishing video. Now, the crew members get mad at me about this video because they say I added too much ice, but it was for effect. I mean, not everybody's brining totally solid frozen bait. So you have to gauge your amount of ice use for your bait kind of condition. If it's a frozen solid piece of bait that just got pulled out of a freezer, you don't need ice. Maybe a little bit of ice, but you don't need ice. If your bait has already thawed out or has thawed out a little bit, that's when you're going to need more ice to keep it cool. Getting it in, and it also depends on the kind of cooler. If you're using a really high dollar nice cooler, you don't need any ice at all. If you're using kind of a junky cooler that's been under the stairs that has 6 holes in it and a big crack in the lid, you might need a little bit of ice to prevent it from thawing out. So it takes a little bit of practice, but the secret behind brining your bait is bait that's pre-cut how you want to use it. So I'll take a couple whole baits with the tail cut. I'll take a couple whole baits where I cut the head, cut the tail, trim the belly for mangroves. I'll take a couple baits where I just kind of trim the belly. Do a variety of different baits how I want to use them through the day. And then you do a layer of bait, really thick layer of salt, and then if you need to, a little bit of ice, then another layer of bait, heavy layer of salt, layer of bait, layer of salt, layer of bait, layer of salt, till the cooler's full. And basically you've got bait that's just encased in salt. And then if you need to, if it's really, really solid frozen, a little scoop of salt water on it to accelerate the processes. And as the bait thaws, mixes with that salt water and all the salt, it really stiffens and toughens the outside of the bait, increases its rigidity or stiffness, and seals in the moisture and oils, and it just makes it this killer bait, especially by the end of the trip once it's been sitting out in the sun and it's really baked. The ice is melted, the bait has thawed out. You get this like purplish brown death liquid that soaks those baits even more, and it really, really works well to get the fish excited. Super oily, soft interior with a really rigid, stiff exterior. But I only brine baits on 39 and 44-hour trips, and you're only brining frozen dead bait. So don't try to brine your live pinfish, which I've seen someone try before, and don't bother brining squid, and don't laugh. It's happened. And don't do it on a 5-hour half day, 10-hour all day. This is just offshore long-range trips where you're fishing more than 10, 12 hours at a time, and it's only for frozen, already dead bait, like thread fins, sardines, cigar minnows, whatever you want to use. We provide thread fins on the boat, and you do that on the way out on those 39-hour trips. So you bring a little small cooler and a big old thing of salt, and you're ready to brine bait. We provide the rest on the boat. That's what you need to know as far as the bait brining process. But you can watch that video for even more information and a full demonstration on how to brine baits. which is, again, right on our website, hubbardsmarina.com. Click fishing trips and then fishing video links. It is time to give away our second free set of trips tonight. We're going to give away our 5-hour half day. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Let's see who the lucky winner was. Ryan Held from Tampa. Congratulations, Ryan, on that win. You got 5 minutes or less, Ryan, to claim your free trip by texting us at this phone number your full home address. And just an update, Estelle didn't text her full home address. She just decided to call Josh, so she didn't get her free trip. Just kidding, Estelle. That's funny. Richard Slusher, appreciate those 100 stars. Thank you so much, Richard. Let's see, what other questions do we have here? Can you talk about sleeping accommodations on the 39 and 44-hour trips? So I'm a big guy. If you haven't met me, if you don't know, I'm 6'7", 300 plus. We'll just leave it there. I'm a big boy, and I sleep on those bunks just fine. They're about 7 foot long, and I don't know, I'm pretty wide too, but I fit on them nicely. They're plenty wide, plenty long. They got about 6 inches of foam, and they're kind of Navy-style bunk, but they're somewhat roomy. It's not too bad. It's not bad climbing on top. It's not bad getting on the lower bunk. So I don't mind them at all. And the sleeping accommodations, our first deck is our main deck, and the first 25 bunks, 1 through 25, are inside in the main air-conditioned cabin on the first deck. Then bunks 26 and above are upstairs in the open-air cabin, and it's kind of the main cabin's one big room with the bunks. Upstairs is one big open kind of deck area with bunks. We do have a men and women's head, men and women's shower. We do have a galley area with hot meals, cold drinks, hot coffee the whole time, cold beer. There is a small TV with some movies playing. Typically, Tammy's got some movies going on those 39-hour trips. It's a cool trip. It's a fishing boat. Don't get it twisted. It's not the Marriott, and you don't have walk-in steam showers and saunas or nothing. There's not a ton of accommodations, but as far as fishing boats go, it's a fish catching boat, and it's definitely plenty comfortable, and it's not a white tablecloth dining room gourmet style marble countertop boat, but she's a fish catching machine. So I really like the boat, and I enjoy the overnight trips, and we have plenty of ladies, even more so now. We have our Lady Anglers Fishing Club, the Lady Anglers of Hubbard's Marina. And if you go to our website, right on our main website, you can scroll over to the Lady Anglers page. And on our Lady Anglers page, we have right here all about the Lady Anglers page and a link to the Lady Anglers of Hubbard's Marina right in the bottom of that first paragraph. So check it out. It's under info, I believe. Yeah, under info is the Lady Anglers menu item, and it'll bring you to this page, a lot of information about the Lady Anglers, some photos, and a link to that free Facebook group if you are a lady angler and want to connect with other lady anglers to do lady angler fishing trips and join us on our public party boat trips, but with groups of ladies. It's just a little easier. Sometimes there's a little bit of a barrier to entry, or you might be a lady who doesn't really feel comfortable going out on a 39-hour trip by themselves, which totally understand. A boat full of dudes for 39-hour trips seems a little off-putting if I was a lady myself. Even me, I don't want to go out with a bunch of dudes for 39 hours. So it's always fun to meet and connect with fellow like-minded anglers. So Lady Anglers of Hubbard's Marina has been a big benefit to ladies who want to go fishing on 10-hour trips, 5-hour trips, 39-hour trips with a group of other ladies, and they are doing more and more trips. So definitely check it out if you're interested. Chris Birchfield, what were you saying something?
We just had the group of ladies that were dropped off by their husbands to go
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah, the last overnight trip, not the 44-hour, the 39-hour before that. Yeah, a group of husbands dropped off a group of their wives to do that 39-hour trip. And they both brought back keeper amberjack, too. It was pretty funny. So the world has definitely shifted. When I was growing up, it was a men-dominated sport, and that is not the case. Women catch more fish, and now there are lady anglers clubs that are gaining more members than men's angling club, which is pretty cool. Definitely cool to see the ladies, and also number of kids out there fishing. We've seen a lot more kids recently too, so it's really cool to see the sport, the industry, the hobbyists kind of shift and really reach more people. So cool. And we're happy and honored to be a part of it, for sure. Let's see. Let's get back into the questions. What questions? Dude, awesome address, Ryan. Right? Fisherman's Point. That's awesome. That's really cool. I want to live on Fisherman's Point. Let's see. Going on a 12-hour extreme soon. Can we use greenbacks? You can definitely use greenbacks, but I wouldn't recommend it. They'd come off the hook pretty easy, and they'd be hard to feel that bite in deep water, especially with heavier tackle. That's a pretty small bait to be using in deep water. I think a greenback would be a good option on like a 10-hour trip for mangroves, bigger greenbacks, or smaller thread fins that you caught fresh. Might be a good option for those mangrove snapper on a 10-hour trip. On a 12-hour extreme, that's really too small. I wouldn't recommend it. Can you? Yes, you're more than welcome to bring whatever bait you want. Do we recommend it? No. And the other part of that question was about free-lining pinfish. Would free-lining a pinfish work better than using a weight? No, because we're in such deep water. You free-line that pinfish and catch nothing all day. We're fishing on the bottom for fish that live and eat on the bottom. So you need a weight to bring that pinfish to the bottom for sure. So it's a good idea to use a weight for those pinfish for sure. Let's see here. What happens when you book a trip later in the year but bad weather hits? So all our trips are weather and people based. A lot of people will ask me about that sometimes, like, what if bad weather happens? Well, we're not in this to steal your money or anything like that. If we don't provide the service, then obviously you're not going to pay for it. So if you book a trip, you can feel confident in the fact that if we have bad weather approaching, we'll do the best we can to communicate with you as early as possible. And if we have to cancel the trip, then you are entitled to either refund it, or you can cancel it and move to a different day, so transfer it, or just transfer your payment to a future credit to be used when you call back and book again. So it's up to you. You can future credit, you can cancel and transfer, or you can cancel and refund. It's up to you. Now, if we decide to go, and the weather's going to be adverse, we know it's going to be bumpy, but it's not too bad, and we're able to make the trip happen, but we know it's going to be a little adverse. Basically, the rule of thumb is if we have the weather report on the counter, if we think it's going to be bad enough to where I take my time personally to print out a personal weather report, and I'm saying, hey, it's going to be bumpy out there, then you can cancel, transfer, refund, just like if we were to cancel. So if we're going, it's safe to go, but we know it's going to be bumpy. You have the option to cancel and refund, cancel and transfer, or cancel and go to future credit. So we're never going to force you to go out in bad weather. If it's real bad, we'll cancel. If it's just a little bad, we might go. We just warn you heavily that we think it's going to be bumpy out there, and then you have the same options either way. So that's what happens if the weather gets bad. Holy moly, it got late fast. Where did time go? Let's get a few more questions in here, and then we'll wrap her up. How do you get your name in for the drawings? All you have to do is comment once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. So you got to go to facebook.com, find the Hubbard's Marina page, find the live video, comment something one time anything you want one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream, then you're entered into the random name generator automatically. And when we give away free trips, your name may or may not be picked. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, Trovo, Twitch, Instagram, another Facebook page, that's fine. But your name isn't entered to win unless you comment once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. But then you can watch on Trovo, Twitch, YouTube, or another Facebook page. But you just got to comment once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page. At least a one word. Maybe where you're watching from, you can just comment the word something. That works too. Anything you want, just one time. What's the difference between a boat rod and a trolling rod? Boat rod could mean a lot of different things, but if you rent a rod from us, we are a bottom fishing trip. We're focused on bottom fishing, so our bottom fishing trips provide bottom fishing rods. In order to troll, you need a different outfit. So on our 39-hour, 44-hour trips, you can troll. On our 5-hour half-day trips, you can troll. Typically, we're moving a little too fast for our 10 and 12-hour trips to be able to troll. So most of the time, 5-hour half-day, 39-hour, 44 hours, where you're going to get the chances to troll. And you need a bigger reel, preferably a 2-speed reel, like a 50-wide 2-speed, 80-wide 2-speed. Not the size 50 TLD or size 50 Saltiga or Saltist, but a 50 wide. So a very significant reel is what you need in order to be able to troll, and much bigger than what we give you to bottom fish because they're just too big. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see if we can squeak one more question in here, Josh. Is lobster good bait? It's better eaten, but yes, it does make good bait for Cubera snapper. So I've heard. I've tried it, never worked for me. Every Cubera I've caught has been on a reeling up from the bottom, like you hook a mangrove snapper, you're reeling up and you catch a Cubera, comes up and eats your mangrove. I've caught one in Costa Rica on a blue runner, but I've soaked at least half a dozen lobster. Now, that might be my fault because most of the time when I'm using lobster for bait, in my head, I'm like counting. I count to about 2 minutes, and then I reel it up, and I put it on ice again, and then I go cook it myself to eat. But I'll drop it down to the bottom for at least 2 minutes to give myself a shot at it. But I'm not going to let it sit down there and get nasty. I'll let it sit down there for a minute to warm up, and then I'll bring it up and cook it. So I've never had good luck with lobster personally, but I haven't really given it a solid chance either. Just keep in mind, it is a very sticky situation. Using lobster for bait. It's highly illegal to use Florida spiny lobster for bait. Bringing some of that other lobster on the boat can get you in a lot of trouble. Recently, a boat got confiscated and a captain went to jail for having bait on board they intended to consume. So if you bring a bunch of lobster out, it can create a big deal. So don't bring a bunch of lobster on our boats, please. But you are welcome to do that on your own boat or a buddy's boat, just not on our boat. If you get stopped with a bunch of lobster on the boat, you're going to have a lot of trouble, even if it is for bait. So make sure you save your receipts to prove that you bought it for the intended purpose of eating or bait. With the rod rental, does that include tackle? Yes. If you rent a rod and reel from us, we provide the rod, reel, and your hooks, swivels, leads. We don't provide jigs. It's not a trolling rod. It's not a slow pitch jigging rod. It doesn't come with jigs, but it comes with the hook, swivel, lead that you need to be able to bottom fish with bait, which is what our trips are all about. You can slow pitch jig on our trips. You can troll on our trips, but they're not specific. We have specific slow pitch jigging trips, and we don't have a specific trolling trip anymore, but we used to. And those were intended for those purposes. Our trips right now are bottom fishing trips, and you're welcome to use some of these other techniques while out there, but only if conditions allow. Jason Baker, appreciate those 200 stars. Thanks, buddy. Josh, I think we got time for one more. Let's try to squeeze one more quick one in. Was that Another language?
No, that's the first laugh.
Oh.
Asperger's
My
Ray?
bad.
It is German.
Yeah, it looked German. I was like, are we worldwide? I was like, what was that noise?
Some of you guys don't get in a normal live show.
Yeah, if you don't watch the after show, you don't know the inside joke. But Captain Worldwide was thrown around, and I got my own theme song now, or theme music, I guess. Josh implemented, so thanks. So with that, I don't see any good questions. So we're going to wrap this thing up and move on to our supporters after show because we got lunar eclipse to go watch tonight, guys. Remember, 10:30 p.m. you can start to see it. 11:30 p.m. it will be full. So stay up. Go drink a Red Bull. I'm struggling right now. I felt like I was going to fall asleep towards the end of that live show. So I don't know how long I'll make it into this eclipse, but I definitely want to at least see the start of it.
Oh, I would have kept the live show going if you fell asleep. It would have been 3 hours of Captain Dylan Hubbard snoring.
Dude, I snore fast, really fast.
Just ease into it. Just
Yeah. What was it? Yesterday was Saturday, so I had the Real Animals radio show. I got to be up at 3:45 to get ready, 3:45 a.m. to get ready for that radio show. And the Coast Guard situation occurred Friday night, so I was on the phone with the Coast Guard all night until midnight. And then I was all amped up, couldn't sleep. I finally laid down like 12:45 a.m. So like almost 1 a.m. Saturday morning. My alarm goes off at 3:45 a.m. Then do the radio show, come home, then get to the beach with the family by 10:30, 11 a.m. We're in the boat, on the jet ski, on the beach all day. 2 kids under 3 years old. And all our family out there having a grand old time. Finally get home at like 5:30, feed the kids, put everybody to bed. And we're reading my son a story, and I'm nodding out. My wife has a video of me trying to read my son the Daniel Tiger book, and I start nodding out, and I started snoring. My son's like, Dad. Yeah, so it wasn't pretty. That was my day yesterday.
somebody's illegal dumping.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to wrap this show up so we can get to our supporters after show. Also, don't forget to check out our friends at Gator Gyms Tackle. This show is brought to you by Gator Gyms Tackle. Every show is brought to you by Gator Gyms Tackle over at 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. If you haven't checked them out yet, make sure you get over there. Huge selection, killer deals, like deals that we can't even talk about. They're so good. Literally, he would get in trouble if he advertised them. They're so good. He has crazy stuff over there. So definitely check out our friends at Gator Gyms. Tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you, and tell Jim Bickle we said hello. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends over at the Real Animals radio show. Check us out every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's an interesting show because it's not my show. I'm co-host with my good buddy Mike Anderson. And it's a little bit different vibe. I'm not driving the bus on that one. I'm just along for the ride. So there's my forewarning. Also, a shout out to our friends at Garmin Electronics, Yamaha Outboards, Bass Pro Shops, Engel Coolers, Salt Strong, Aquatic Nutrition, Sport Fishing Chum, and big thank you to Aquatic Nutrition, Sport Fishing Chum. They just sent us a box of their chum drop and the super shrimp and the snapper up, which is our favorites. They also have a bloodstream one that we use quite a bit for shark fishing. Great stuff over there at Aquatic Nutrition, Sport Fishing Chums. Don't forget to check out Hubbard's Marina on TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, Nextdoor app, the Fishbrain app, Waypoint TV, and Trovo and Twitch. 12 social media channels. I got Pinterest. Yeah,
Did you say next door?
I did. Yeah, we're up to 12 now. 12 social medias.
Nice.
Some of them we have multiple channels, which is crazy. Also, Friday mornings, Fox 13 News, 8:15 a.m. Hopefully you can join us for that. If you're a supporter, the Supporters After Show is going to get started at 9:55. 9:50. We're going to do 9:50. We're a little earlier tonight. So 9:50, the supporters after show starts. That means you got 15 minutes to refill your glasses, grab another venting tool for the supporters after show. Hopefully you'll become a supporter too. It's only $4.99 a month. You get access to the private supporters after show, get a lot of behind the scenes stuff, some more photos, some more connectivity, and kind of a direct line to me. So it's a really, really cool thing. And the supporters after show is a little bit more one-on-one. So that's a great benefit in and of itself. And we definitely are a little bit more loose on the supporters after show. So we'll see you there, 9:50 p.m. You can become a supporter tonight by going to the top of the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page. You can sign up there. So hopefully we'll see you over there for the supporters after show. And also the underwater GoPro footage from the 10-hour trips are on Mikey's Fish Cam on YouTube. That is Mike Lee, our first mate. That's his YouTube channel. So when he does that underwater footage on the 10-hour trips with his GoPros, he puts that on his YouTube channel, Mikey's Fish Cam. Josh will try to drop that in the comments for y'all. Y'all have a great night. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. We're going to give away our last free trip of the night, our 39-hour fishing trip for one guest. That is a $350 value. Let's see who won the last free trip of the night. Again, 39-hour trip for one guest. Let's see who the lucky winner is. Ben Tram from Sanford. What's going on, man? Long time no see. Congratulations, Min, on that lucky win for that 39-hour trip. You got 5 minutes or less to claim that free trip by texting us at this phone number here, your full home address. We'll see the rest of you guys on the Supporters After Show, and we'll hopefully see everyone next week for another episode of this live stream show. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Hopefully we'll see you out in the water this week. Remember, this week is the week to go. Then it's going to get nasty. Then all the crazies come out of the woodwork for the very short, highly overrated red snapper season in June and July. So get out there, go fishing this week before the bad weather comes and all the crazies. Oh, I hate red snapper. All right, see you guys. We'll see you next week.